That's where we left off last week. Back panel, one solid piece. I had this one printed, and I hated this. It looks great. I'm very happy with how it looks. Getting it on is not easy because I have to do, and then it's just uncomfortable. A week later, bunch of printing, right? We have this bad boy here. Look at that. Can you see him? I'm gonna pull you in so you can see him. Only thing we're missing at this point are the shoulder pauldrons. I got everything else. And it's just clamped right now. But it looks fantastic. I'm super happy with how this looks. How it functions, that's a whole nother story. This whole thing is an exercise in retrospect. What I should have done, so I have two prosperity seams. We'll call them prosperity seams. Right here. So I can take this whole front panel off. Had I put it here, right? We've gone from here to here, I could have glued the entire front part. Put the shoulder pieces on. Everything would have just snapped together much better. This, I could probably reprint the back panel and the front panels in about 3 days. It works. I'm going to glue the entire front piece together and then yeah, just go from there. The whole front piece, the back panel will go on, the whole front will go, and then I've got these. Let me show you these. These are kind of neat. I'm very happy with how these turned out. First off, let's take everything apart. It's, like I said, it's just clamped in place. These side panels, there's something else. Check that. So I put a hinge, but it's held together on a pin. So if I pull the pin, the whole thing comes off. So what I plan on doing is just putting it on, lifting an arm up, popping the hinge back on. A lot of Boba Fetts do that for the gauntlets. They just, these pins they pull, the whole thing comes off. But I really like how that looks. And it's way easier to put on. Because like I said, I just put the back panel on, put the front panel on, put in 2 pins, and the armor's on. So the back panel is absolutely identical to the other one with the addition of this hinge. The back's still got the support piece, still rock solid. I do need to resand everything. I'm not going to put you through that. We've already done it once. So I'm going to set all of the back piece, the whole back plate off to the side. We'll deal with this. I'll deal with that later. You guys are here to see new stuff, so let me show you new stuff. Stay. I've got this chest piece. I'm not sure. Like I said, I really wish I had thought I had a little more forethought. It's kind of the moral of the story today. A little more forethought. But I did add all of these tabs, so everything can just properly glue together. This curved when I subdivided it. Not a big deal. We'll figure it out. But we're working on the front. Let me pull you in. So when I modeled everything, I put slots that lock into place. This front is just absolutely perfect. I'm super happy with, it's hard to show, but I am super happy with how these just slot together. A lot of cleanup. I haven't even started this yet. First step is going to be to sand everything. I'm going to Dremel it, make everything relatively smooth. And then glue everything together. We may get this one to the point that it's wearable, but I don't know. I'm not counting my chickens before they're hatched. But again, step one, I'm going to smooth everything a bit and see where we're at. still have more sanding to do. I have a lot more sanding to do. Well, not really. It's just these 2 plates. But I'm at a point where I think I need to make a decision about gluing these together. Because I should just glue them together and be done with it, right? So these aren't going to... Yeah, we're going to do it. So I'm going to glue all of this to this. Try a new glue. The glue I've been using is finally gone. Sucks. I love that stuff. So just putting down a heavy amount, healthy amount. I wouldn't say heavy. Stuff does not flow well. Jeez Louise. The applicator takes forever. I could probably cut a bigger hole in it. I don't know. Alright, fine. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. The more glue you use, the longer it takes for it to cure, by the way. So, less is more, but something to be said for nice and secure. Now we leave it, let it cure. While we're doing that, we're going to sand these last 2. So far, I am not impressed with this glue. Spent half an hour, nothing happened. It didn't glue. So I had to put more glue down. We're going to bind it. I'm going to give it a full hour. And then we'll come back and see if I'm going to have to scrape everything off or if it glued. I don't know. Still didn't glue. Gave it an hour. Stuff is still tacky and... You go grab some acetone. I'll be right back. I hate working with acetone. It gives me a headache almost instantly every time. And there's something about it that just my system does not like. Scraped out. So I'm going with a 5-minute epoxy. Never have problems with that stuff. First, we're going to clean off all this excess glue with a little bit of acetone. You just need a nice, strong gluing surface. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a thing I keep telling myself, because I tend to overdo things, trying to make everything perfect. This is a costume. It's not a real piece of armor. Nobody's life is dependent on it. It is just a costume. So since I want to give this the best possible chance, now that I've just acetoned everything, I'm going to give it a good 15 minutes. Let it flash off completely. And then we'll come back and see where we're at. So everything's going to move pretty quick here. Got this all set up. I have the shoulder plates, or shoulder armor, taped in place. This is just going to slide in and pop. I want to make sure that these stay in line with each other and with the back plate. The only way to really do that is just to have it in place. Keep reminding myself, tape is cheap. Reprinting all this is not. So I've got Loctite 5-minute epoxy. Looks about right. Let's find out. Seems to be working. So now I have to decide Do I glue these on as well, or do I wait? Because by the time these are done being glued, so will this. And they never give you enough tubes, right? They assume you're going to use the whole thing in one go. Well, 2 goes, I guess, because you get 2 tubes, but the more I mess with it, the more likely something is to go wrong. Seem to be in place now. I could lay it on its back and then glue it real quick. I should glue it all at once. I'm having glue issues, but I rarely have an issue with this 5-minute epoxy. Stuff is amazing. That I should be able to just get some in there. One at a time, one at a time. I do all this careful planning, getting clamps and all kinds of stuff, and in the end, I just tape the stupid thing. Put straps on. Let's see what we got. Seems nice and secure. Nothing seems to be moving. What I was hoping for. I also ended up putting a clamp across the top to keep everything nice and secure. Let's see. Well, nothing seems to have shifted. Well, let's pull off all the tape, clean all this off, and see where we're at. All the clamps are off, all the tape's been removed, everything is in place. Look at that. I am super happy with how that looks. There's a little gap in the back right here, but I think once everything is sanded, it'll be fine. Speaking of which, that's where we're at now. Pull the pins. The whole thing comes apart. So I can put this on, put the back panel on, and have armor. So we're gonna sand everything. I got a little bit of space here along the edge. We're gonna sand that. We're gonna make everything smooth, and then glazing putty. That's where we are now. Smoothing everything out, getting it ready for paint. sanded, it's secured. First coat of primer, leave it overnight, and then we'll take care of it in the morning. So next step, light coat of primer over the entire thing. I'm happy with how it's turning out. I'm way more excited about this than I was the other half, but oh my goodness, is this awesome. Everything's been primed. Time for paint. I'm using Rust-Oleum Earthy Green. These caps, whoever designed them was being very clever. I have found that clever is unbelievably annoying. The nice thing about them, come on, you can pop the top off, put a normal one on, and it's just a regular can of spray paint. So, these are all getting painted to green. We're getting clear coated with Rust-Oleum Custom Clear. Kim loves this stuff, so I'm going to take her word for it. And that's where we're at. Paint everything. We may be done. Very happy with how it turned out. That is awesome. Yeah, it's not quite connected just yet because I'm going to take off the vest, take off the shirt, put on an Under Armour, and see if I can fit it on. Not bad. It's a little snug in the chest. I wish I had just expanded that out a touch. Would have made getting the whole thing on much easier, but it's not bad. It looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. This is what I do. I make random stuff like this. The pins are sticking out a bit because, you know, I have to sand them down a little more. The pins are a little rough, but it's pretty cool. Like I said, this is what I do. I make costumes. This is one of the first armored ones I've done on the channel. And if this is your thing and you're interested in seeing where this goes, because I do plan on doing the rest of it, you know, maybe think about sticking around. Thanks for making it to the end. Hope to see you next time.